Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Good chance of rain and cooler temperatures Monday night in through Tuesday. Remember, the last thing I said, triple D's, triple digits. They're going to get, no. Don't go there. Don't go there. 98 degrees on Friday. We are getting so close to triple digits.
Triple digits. Yes. Oh.
Don't go there.
Thank you, Soul. By the way, Soul sent me this video, and I was like, "Yeah, we're going to add."
How did he get footage of my girlfriend, dude?
Yeah, right. Okay. Wow. Okay, guys, the third episode of Triple D, again without the Bristolian D. So we have the Dutch R. Welcome, Roland.
The D is the new R.
Right. The third episode, and already you guys fail.
Yes.
Hey, oh no! Last week we all failed, except for Dave Brinks. He stood out with the.
Oh yeah. Last week we didn't do it. So So yeah, cool, man. Cool that.
But you had like two shows. Like, okay, there was not like a Saturday, but Friday and Sunday you had two shows, and we were, like supporting Comi Mark. So it was
yes,
warranted, I guess you could say.
Whew. Okay.
But what hasn't happened this week? I mean, Eric July is getting into fist fights with Marvel superstars.
Yes,
and with weird guys on the internet.
Yes. So Roland. This format is a little bit different from the Dutch angle. With the Dutch angle, we have one topic, and we talk about this for 1 hour. In this case, it's more about things that happened a previous week in comics, and sometimes other forms of entertainment that we like shows that you watch also. But first, let us say hi to everyone who's waiting. Thank you all for showing up, guys. We have Soul Iron. DRD. Yes, today it's DRD. Amen.
Rose.
Or is it DDR? Or is it RDD? Yeah, it's RDD.
RDD, okay. Ladies and G-strings. You. I saw Renaki. Welcome, Renaki. Hey, man. Nice to see you, man. Sumo Thori is here. Sumo Thori. Always cool to see Sumo.
I love
Mister.
I love his profile pic.
His profile picture, yeah? You like that?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Area Blackness. Welcome, Area.
Hi, dude.
Nice.
Arut? What is that like in Dutch?
What?
Arut?
I say hi, dude.
Oh,
Dude.
sorry.
Oh, dude.
But there is such name called Ruud. But
Yeah, there's a Dutch name called Ruud. Yes.
Mhm.
Mike. Welcome, Mike. Hello to the real D man. You triple D threes, triple Ds, and no bikinis, please. Oh, okay.
Okay.
okay,
Not
okay.
often, at
No,
least.
I have to change. I have to change clothes.
Yeah. The first
Not often,
show,
certainly.
the first show, by the way, was called Off Panel. That was the
Mhm.
name, Off Panel.
Right.
But people
Sure.
in the chat keep calling it Triple D, so I just changed the name. No problem. The
And
people
now the
decide,
third
man.
episode, we change the name again.
That's a
Yeah.
really cool avatar. Where's that from?
Which one? From Mike?
Yeah.
Mike.
Where do you get that? That's like really cool.
Like is that Moon Knight?
No,
I
it's
think
a banana with
A banana. Okay.
Oh, it's a
sunglasses.
banana. Okay, right. It's not Moon Man. Oh, or a man in the moon. No.
Okay,
Banana
here's a
Man.
question. Here's a question, David. Do you have news feed?
Yes, I have some news in my feed and news in general. I did a little bit of homework this night.
Ooh, excellent.
That's kind of funny.
Okay, I don't know where we could begin. I maybe with the telling Roland.
Yes.
Some people may not know you, but you do animation, right?
Yes.
And you
I do.
worked on one episode of The Sandman.
Yeah, it's my first comic book adaptation. Woo!
Ooh,
Really?
excellent.
You worked on Sandman?
Yeah, I worked on Dreams of a Thousand Cats,
Oh my god.
Yes.
directed by Hisco Helsing.
Also,
I'm not.
you worked on one episode of Sandman.
Yes,
The series that is live right now.
yes, the Netflix series.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I did some shots of some cats, and I did some shots of the humans. So the line work, the rotoscope work, because the humans were filmed, and then we kind of trace rotoscope them with lines. Then we color them and fill them with shading. So that's kind of the work we did in Amsterdam.
Right.
What's the episode?
The episode is 11th episode. It's a double episode basically. It contains Dreams of a Thousand Cats and what was the other one again? Camilo or something.
Yeah.
Castilla.
I watched it. I watched it just now, and I thought it would be the complete hour, but it's only the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, the first 15
It's animated.
minutes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's animated, fully animated.
Yes. Excellent, man.
Do you have like a short clip of that? That'd be cool if you could see that.
Yeah, well, besides the trailers, I can look it up later on. Let's see if I have something.
Sure, man. Okay, guys. Well, a lot happened, right? In these last 2 weeks now. It's 2 weeks, so some news will be a little bit not recent anymore. But
still always talk worthy about it.
Sure, man. So what do we have? For instance, we have this interview that JDA had with Eric Larson.
Oh yeah,
David, remember?
Yes. Did you watch it? I didn't watch it in the end.
There's
been so much drama around JDA in the last week with some controversial stuff.
Really?
Yeah, he had the like with Liam and weird stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know when I get into those drama stuff.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't really like drama. I try not to make drama streams. That's not really my thing. But some things are pretty interesting, like when JDA got Eric Larson to be on his show. While JDA is he carries the label Comicsgate, right? He's friends with EVS. So no one ever expected that Eric Larson would be there
No,
and
no,
and
I
and he didn't even tell anyone because he was afraid if he announced it that Eric Larson would get spooked.
Mhm.
So yeah,
I saw a little bit of it, and I saw that Eric Larson was like very normal. I thought
yeah,
it was going to be like a raging SJW,
no,
screaming
Eric
and
doesn't,
raving, and he was just like a normal dude, like, hey, what's up?
yeah, he doesn't have pink or blue color hair,
No,
Erik Larsen, or like a
no,
green mohawk.
no, he
I
doesn't
don't think
have
he has
any
any
hair.
hair at all.
No.
But it was, from what I didn't see the whole thing, but from what I saw, it was very cordial. Did you see it, the whole thing, Dave?
No, I saw part of it. I saw most of it through EVS stream. So he was live.
EFAPing, or how do you call that?
Yes, EFAPing. What does it mean, by the way? EFAPing. It sounds weird. It sounds dirty.
Yes, I know. I thought it meant like, like something, but apparently,
Electronic masturbation.
I don't know if that's
Yeah.
like maybe it's that, but I heard rumors that EFAPing is something like a certain, that was like the name of a channel who did that, and it became that.
Right.
Like, PewDiePie or something like that, and there was this guy, Mr. EFAP, who was always do this kind of stuff, and that's how it became.
Ah, that's what happened. Okay.
I guess so, or maybe that's like the excuse they say. Yeah, it's not like EFAPing. It's just like, yeah, there was like a guy with that name.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, if your name or your channel is called fapping,
Yeah.
certain people or not.
Oh yeah, there you go. Mr. Mike's got it. That's the thing.
Every frame a pause. Right. Okay.
That's right. Yeah, I think there was some guys who did that. They would review movies or whatever, and would do like a pause every frame and go on the super long reviews. That's where it comes from.
Right.
Why would you call it fapping? It's so weird.
You see, this show
No, but
is
it's the thing. EFAP, right?
EFAP. Yeah. Educational show. This is. Thank you, guys.
Mahler. Who's Mahler?
Mahler. What does
Oh,
that
wait,
mean?
is that the guy who did like a 5-hour Sandman review or 5-hour She-Hulk review?
Right. By the way,
think
there was one element in the interview with JDA that I found pretty interesting. So I like to share that. I think. Okay, so this is the interview, and there was this segment. I hope you guys can hear it.
Oh man,
Yeah.
University and Dragons for $2 says, "Hi Eric, can you say hi to Comicsgate? Thanks." Don't troll.
I'm
troll.
not able to do that, unfortunately. Contractually.
Contractually, really? That's interesting. All right, so we're way. That was a mean question about overrated art.
Okay, so apparently, Image Comics has contractually said that people cannot mention Comicsgate. People working there.
I don't know if you need to take
maybe
it
it's a joke.
seriously. Yeah. But even though, I think it's so weird that they created these two camps, Comic-Gate, non-Comic-Gate. I think who gives a shit? We just want to create comics, right?
Yes.
Some people like to make woke comics, fine, if they are happy with that. And some people want to make good comics, also fine, if you're happy with it. So,
of course, that's a reasonable approach, right? But in practice, you see here, Eric Larson doesn't want to say hi to Comicsgate. So there is something going on.
To be honest, it's petty. It's so childish.
Yeah, but I mean, I gotta say one thing. Mr. Eric Larson, he actually gave an answer. He was like, you know what? I'm gonna give you an answer. Like, I'm not gonna say it. I am contractually obligated. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's a joke. Whatever. He laughs a little bit. Maybe it's a little bit uncomfortable, but he stands his ground. Do you remember when Donny Cates called EBS?
Yes.
And then he was like, yeah. Well, I will say hi to people who love comics, but I will. Like, come on, have some balls. Just say yes or no. This guy here is like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna say it. That's it. That's enough. That's perfect. I don't know why. People are making like an elephant out of a fly
Mosquito.
or whatever you want.
Yeah,
Out of a
yeah.
mosquito. It's like,
but
just say no or just say yes.
Yeah, I agree. Just be nice, just say, even though if it's somebody who doesn't like. So imagine the Comicate is a person you don't like or want to be affiliated with. You can still just say hi. It's just, it doesn't matter. It doesn't immediately would link you to that person or.
No, sure,
That's true, yeah.
But even if it wasn't, if it was a joke, right? He didn't say it, so there is a reason why he didn't say it. Probably because it can get people into trouble.
It could be, yes.
Yeah.
For them, for us, it's like whatever, say hi, Comicate, hi, Comicate, no?
Right.
But for them, it seems to be like if they're saying, like saluting Hitler or whatever. It's like, yo, there's going to be a clip of me,
like racing
there. Yes, it's like, dude, just say hi, Comicate. It's not like it's so weird how they treat this. It's like I don't even know. You're gonna get excommunicated from the church if you say that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's strange. Well, I basically think that Eric Larson can do whatever he wants. He's kind of independent. He runs Image Comics basically. So what's the issue here? It's.
Well, I mean, isn't he like the chief financial officer of Image?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So he would be the guy taking the decision to forbid this, no? He would be like, hey, if you say this, you're gonna get fired. Wouldn't he be like the guy at the top saying something like that? If he's the one in charge of finances? Or at least
the thing is, nowadays everything can get taken out of context. So even if he just says hi Comicate, whatever, people will take that small snippet of footage and will make it into a meme or a GIF or whatever, and they will run it until the end of time. And I think with these little things, they are very cautious with stating anything on these things. I think it's like that as well. Nowadays, you need to be super careful with everything you say or post or whatever.
Yeah, you say like there's only two, there's only two of those things that are only two. You get, like taken out of school and stuff like that, fired immediately. It's insane. But it's not our side, The crazy thing is, like most normal people are like, whatever, hi or no, and that's it.
Yeah, Roland can say it.
Hi, Comicate.
You see?
Oh my God.
I don't like you, but hi, Comicate.
That's it, Roland. You're a Nazi.
But I also don't like mainstream comics, so I just like indie comics. Doesn't matter. I don't check on the comics. I don't know if there's a label, but I don't check if the comics are Comicate or just an independent comic creator or from a big company. If I like the comic, I don't give a rat's ass. I like a comic, I will buy it.
Yeah,
I feel the same. I feel like for me, the unforgivable sin is for a comic creator to block me. Like if I say whatever and they block me or I'm preemptively blocked, that's like the unforgivable sin. That's the only reason I would not buy a comic, even if I like it.
Yeah, or if they are like being a jerk. We had a previous Dutch angle about it. Would you like the creator would you like or buy the products of a creator, even though if the creator is like a bully or a nasty person? So yeah.
Well, if they're a bully to me, yeah, of course not. I'm not gonna buy the comic.
No, then you're not going to buy them. No.
So Ian says, Roland, it's better to have standards than to have labels.
Definitely.
And welcome to 58 Underground.
Hey, 58. Hi, man. No, but I think actually the way he used labels as well, labeling persons before you going into a conversation with them is super bad. You won't ever will have a normal conversation about it. In that sense.
No, yes, labels are basically meant to to easily disqualify someone. You have this label, so nothing you say matters. Which is kind of the point. You want to avoid certain discussions that you rather do not have. So you label someone.
Yeah,
but
or
this,
feel uncomfortable with.
yeah, but in this case, Comicsgate ran with it. So yeah, good stuff. By the way, this
drama. What was this? The whole drama with Eric Larson? He didn't say hi to Comicsgate.
Yeah, it's not drama, but it's just fascinating that professionals in the industry, in the comic book industry, don't dare to say it because it has ramifications for them. This is fascinating to me, By the way, this ant character looks pretty interesting. I like to look. I'm pretty interested in this comic. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, in America are very fond of Savage Dragon. Like everyone I hear talking about Savage Dragon, they all say they love it. At least the first, 100 issues or something like that.
Oh yeah, the Savage Dragon is really good.
Right.
The first issues. I stopped collecting them. I think 2 years ago.
Yeah, I heard the last issues are really weird or really.
Yeah, it really changed the vibe of the comic. Really changed, and it's not really what it was anymore. So, but yeah.
No, ever since Eric Larson changed Savage Dragon into Savage Karen, sales dropped.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but I mean, the man, he still has it in him, right? So if he makes a new series, there's hope that he'll go back to his
I still
creative
think
mind.
I still think he's a very good artist, and I think his writing is okay. Just I don't always agree with his point of view, which is okay. That's why I don't buy his stuff, but I definitely want to buy his older stuff still. So, and even in his new stuff, like they said, the character of the ant I think is really cool.
Yeah, design
it's not cool. It's not his creation. It's creation from what's his name, Gully. And Eric Larson bought the character from him, and now he's making a new series.
So it's his. If he bought it, it's his. And,
it's not his. Yes.
And he drew it. That's what I meant.
Right. Okay. So Ian says another word that means different things to different people. Like you'll have a hard time to get a member from Kotaku or Polygon to say hi to Gamergate. Right. Yeah.
Probably
yeah,
true,
that's a whole different worm of cans.
Yeah, but it could be that there's a threat of being fired. If we catch you saying that because of the ramifications of people, clipping that and making gifs and memes, you would get fired, huh? Maybe it could be that really there's a legal or some sort of threat behind it. If you work for Image and you say that and we catch you saying that, it's you gotta go.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think we didn't have this in the early 2000s or the 90s. We liked the art of any creator or whatever. Ever since they all went to Twitter or whatever and spoke their opinions, you get this weird world we're living in now that you don't like or somebody don't like because of a certain opinion they have. We didn't have this before. Just keep your mouth shut and just do your job, and don't spill out any opinions. And then you also don't have fans that will eventually turn against you. It's a kind of never meet your heroes kind of thing.
Yeah, that's now you can meet them and they can have a fan base based on them and their opinions. I think another problem with the internet or social media, if you like, is that clusters of weird fandoms can get together and create huge fandoms, and they encourage one another to go deeper and deeper in the rabbit hole of whatever craziness they are into. And so one of them is minor aggressions, and then someone is like, yeah, you're totally right, minor aggressions, and then they start making to a loop of getting crazier and crazier. And I think that's one of the reasons why all this feminism has gotten from women had it hard to microaggressions, and
it spreads. It spreads easily now.
It spreads. It gets worse, and You have
I don't
things
know
like
if it spreads, but definitely they are louder. You know, most of the people don't care, but those people just keep on shouting and shouting. You know, you have these people that go to demonstrations for example, against racism, but they also go to the demonstration for women's rights. They also go to the demonstrations for environment issues. I think they have no life. They just want to go to demonstration. Doesn't matter which topic, as long as it's
you're
kind of
right, yes.
in their view. I think it's the same with Twitter and online. They just, you know, oh, we destroyed Star Wars. What's the next one? Ah, Lord of the Rings. Let's go there. Let's destroy that one. And they just hop from fan base to fan
Yes.
base.
Yes, definitely.
So Roland,
Hi.
do you? I think I know the answer, right? But for the audience, do you watch the She-Hulk?
Hell yes.
Show? Yes. Okay.
Oh,
Right.
okay. You like it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Let's say it like this. I like the Marvel universe, the world they built, basically, especially up until Endgame. But now they are continuing. I'm kind of, you know, curious how they resolve certain things in the world. And I like the She-Hulk character as well. And I think the She-Hulk character itself is fairly close to some comics I read, the old comics, also the Fourth Breaking. But I never laughed one bit. It's not funny show. It's a kind of a show like, meh. I put it on, I watched a bit, but it's not funny. It's not like the Brooklyn Nine-Nine, for example, or any other series. So I think it has the potential, but it's just not funny. I just like to watch it, basically because it's Marvel, and I like the actress. I think the actress is pretty good. And I think all the ranting about the bad CGI is just out of the proportions, because the CGI is not bad at all. Sometimes the animations are bad because you see certain things that, you know, a human doesn't behave like that, especially a big woman, tall woman like her. She sometimes seems to be floating, and then you definitely see that certain scenes are hand animated and not really motion tracked animation. And then it's just weird because you have probably person that's walking, but the person isn't as heavy as She-Hulk's supposed to be. She's bigger, she's more muscular, so she needs to have a different walk. That kind of things irks, and most people cannot point where it is, but they feel the CGI is bad. And I can more say where the crutch is, where is bad, but actually the CGI itself is not bad. It's just different than compared with the Hulk, because the male skin has more rigid and has more you know, pronounced cells, and women usually wear a lot of makeup that smooth out the skin. And anytime when you smooth out the skin, it seems more fake, especially when you have a skin color that is not natural. That's it.
All right. So you basically look at it from a technical standpoint, right? It's
in terms of CGI,
yeah.
yes, but I like I said, sometimes my toes does curl when I see the animations. But it's like a very little light show, not too heavy in humor or in drama. It's just, you know, like mellow, and I like to watch it a bit on the background, or, you know, a bit. It's a fine series. I just like the actress. I think she's pretty, and I think they did a really good job with the She-Hulk itself. Except the twerking, that was weird. I never saw a superhero twerking, let alone a big giant green hero twerking in a costume that looked oversized for already a very big character. And it's, you know, what is about the, yeah, like this. I mean, they want to have like this empowerment to women. Fine, all the respect for women, that they can do whatever they want, including twerking. But then again, like, twerking is like a very old way of of wanting to mate with a guy. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
It's like, yeah, it's such a feminist symbol. Wait, but you're you put it perfectly.
New feminist symbol. Let's twerk.
I think you put it perfectly. That really looks like a really old mating call. Really obvious.
I think actually the twerking is from a civilization, or no, not a civilization, like a tribe or something, or culture. I don't know which one. I have to look it up. But I think it was kind of part of the dance. So actually, what they're doing now is how do you say it? Cultural
appropriation.
Yeah, procreation. They shouldn't do that. It's not. She's green, so she can't do that.
Right.
What do you mean? Jewish people cannot twerk? That's racist.
Well, I definitely know white people cannot. Jerk. I tried. I followed some lessons online.
Roland, I'm not watching this show, right? But you are. I've heard that in episode 3 that they even address complaints that men make about series like this because it has female leads, right?
Yeah, I think the writers are very aware what's going on in the world. I don't know if it is a kind of jab. So you see on the screen, you see in a lot of social media outlets or news, like we don't need more female superheroes, or why can't they create their own female superhero instead of deriving it from an already existing male hero like Hulk, She-Hulk. So you have these comments flying about in the screen. So I think the writers are aware of the.
No one who knows comics would say that, because She-Hulk is very, very old. She was created before I was even born.
Yeah, but they know it's not specifically on the She-Hulk. The She-Hulk in this Marvel universe is different than the She-Hulk. She is fairly new in the MCU or the MCU, and so we need to take that view from that universe, even though she's already here for 40 years. Doesn't matter. She's new in that universe, and that in that sense, like a lot of people say, why do we need female versions of a male hero?
But yeah, I mean, I suppose that 40 years ago she was a female version of the Hulk, no? When she was created, I can assume that Hulk, She-Hulk,
And the very first issues, she had really like this her own story, right? I think she was really savage in the first couple of issues, and then she became under control of her powers. And then I think John Byrne took it over at some point, and he made her more comedian and breaking the fourth wall, but in a different way than Deadpool does. She really also breaks the fourth wall. She not only dresses it like Deadpool does, but she also goes from panel to panel.
Yes,
and that is very funny. And I would like to see them doing that in the series more. And that's why I like this. It's a bit different format, but it's still. When I read the comics, I will laugh and I will chuckle. I never chuckled or laughed during the series. That's a missed opportunity.
Well, I think the writing has to be atrocious. You cannot go from, oh my God, I can control my anger because I get catcalled and I'm constantly whatever, and then you're twerking. It's like, this is not like some fine tuning. This is like just bad writing. I mean, in my opinion.
Yeah, but that's very black and white of saying. I mean, you have like a lot of women that probably will be catcalled and will be bothered by it, and then still can have a very good party with their girls and dance, dance sexy way. It's completely different moments in somebody's day or life. So yeah, I can forgive that. Right. But I did cringe a bit when she was talking about that she's angry all the time, or she manages her emotions better than Bruce. Well, I think he had a pretty rough life the last 20 years. So
Really?
I don't know about
That too, you know. That's like,
I think they could have had a better conversation about it, but okay, let's give the writers this one. It's fine.
Yeah, Pops doesn't like the show. Yeah.
I think it would have been the perfect moment for the Hulk to come and say, you know what? Honestly, you've had it. That would have been, you know, like a life lesson where he comes and tells her, this is like first world problems. You've had it really nice compared to me because I've had this, and this. And this could have been like a learning experience for She-Hulk, you know, for the protagonist of the story. But instead of doing that, it's like, oh no, like he was with this stupid face, like, oh that's right, you get called. Oh my god, poor you. Like,
yeah. I mean, she had a pretty green privileged life. That's
right, you know, like that's not how people react in real life. He would be like, you know, that is much worse. What the hell? Get some sympathy, you know, be more empathetic. That would be like, I suppose, the normal reaction.
Right. David, I know Roland's answer to this question because I've streamed with him for like 25 issues of the Dutch Angle. So do you think that real life translations of comic book characters should be as close as possible to the original creations, or should the movie makers or creators of the series have liberty to change whatever they want?
Oh, that's a good question. You know what? If it serves to make a good movie, then they should be allowed to make some liberties. I mean, there are some stuff that you cannot translate to film by the sheer fact that, you know, in comics you have so many pages, so many volumes. You have, you know, like a rich history, and a movie is like 1 hour. You have 1 hour to explain what you could explain in pages of comics. So of course there's going to be some liberties. Characters are going to be skipped and stuff like that. So yeah, I suppose I would say that filmmakers should stick as far as possible to the source material, but take liberties where it's going to make a better film. That would be like my honest.
Yes.
So for example, I personally don't mind race swapping or gender swapping or whatever swapping. If you like gender swaps a guy with a white guy and you have like a black chick, but you put like a super hot black chick who's like super charming and you know fits the role for the movie, it's perfect. I'm like, fine, perfect. That's fantastic. You know, put hot people with the good looking body in front of the camera. I'm all for it. Me personally.
Yeah, okay, but you just want to see hot chicks, so you don't mind if they gender swap every dude.
I would think that's kind of stupid, honestly. I mean, I don't know what the reason would be to do that, other than, you know, like this actor is like fits the role much better than this other actor, and he just happens to be what white.
Yeah. So what logical reason could there be to gender swap a male character?
I don't know. You know what? A good example but this is like related to something else. There is a game that's kind of popular, Guilty Gear.
Yes,
it's a fighting game, and they gender swapped one of the characters. Testament is the name of that character. He was a guy, and now he's a girl. But they made it kind of fit into story because he's like this monster that is kind of ethereal, and now, you know, like he speaks with a weird like a female and male voice. But it kind of makes sense in the sense of the story.
Yes,
this character in particular being, you know, like almost like a
the character was always a little bit ambiguous with
exactly.
Yes.
So if you make it like, for example, in the story making sense, you can get away with it. If the change is not too harsh and really you have like a, you know, like Jack Reacher, for example, the movie, the guy in the book is like a super tall guy, and in the movie they put Tom Cruise, right? Who's like super short.
Yes,
but you know, he's like a super good action actor. He has his charm, he has his following. The movie made some money and all of that. So I think some people were like, no, I'm a purist, I'm a Jack Reacher purist, so I'm not gonna see that garbage. And some people were like, okay, it was enjoyable, why not? You know, Tom Cruise is a good actor, and I think I would fall more into that. What I hate is when they do like a I don't know, like a race swap or a gender swap or whatever, and then it's garbage. No, like they could have this like awesome actor, but they changed to this other black whatever, and it's like an awful actor. It's like, come on, like now you're doing it for diversity points, and now you're hurting the film because of that. Like a swap should be for the benefit of the movie, so you have like an awesome movie that people are going to be like, wow, blown away. Then for me it's okay.
Right.
If it destroys the movie, then it's like you are going against the purpose of having artistic liberties when you're doing films.
Right. So what about this artistic liberty? To go back to the She-Hulk series, here we have Titania, as she has been for like 40 years in the comic books. This tall Amazonian lady with the red flowing hair, and I think we all know her, right?
I think
and
I
then
know what
in the series,
yes.
in the series, we are supposed to believe that this is the same character.
But see, this is not serving the film. This is not serving the series.
It doesn't resemble the character one bit.
But it's not even good looking, Like this is not serving the film. Is a visual media. It's a moving visual media with sound and music. This is not serving the purpose of impressing me. This is like a fail for me. Yeah, and it doesn't resemble the characters, like a double fail.
I think a lot of these things like race swapping, gender swapping of your favorite character is a very personal thing. For some characters, I don't give a fuck if they swap in any sense the character. In this example, Titania is one of my favorite characters. She is gorgeous, beautiful, tall, muscular woman, and then they came up with this. It doesn't have not even any wings or connections to her costume. Beautiful costume in the comics, and then I think you just make it purple or some spikes here and there. You don't need to give her, the same look, but just give some connections. And I think, you can find this actress attractive or not. That's for everybody itself. But I think her clothes are just not Titania-like at all. And that's what you judge on opponent now, because a character can be attractive for different people, so you judge on the clothes. In universe, she's like an influencer, and so she has her own channel. That's why she dressed up like this diva as she is, and not wearing this spandex superhero clothes. They could still change that, but I can understand from a universe point of view if she would burst into this courtroom with her superhero clothes or supervillain clothes. That would be weird to explain. And now she's just in her normal influencer clothes. She will probably dress or put on in our YouTube channel, whatever, and then she burst into this courtroom. So in universe, there is a explanation for it, but I don't agree. I don't agree in here. I miss the Titania.
Hey, come here, Mark. Welcome, Mark.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hey, Mark.
Hail.
Hail, Dave, and hail, Roland. Yes.
Hail, Mark.
Look, I get it that they can't exactly make this costume. Look, this is a comic book costume. I get it.
Okay. One thing, just like a minor interruption. I've seen cosplayers pull this kind of stuff. So if cosplayers in their free time can pull this off, what the hell is the excuse for $1 million corporation? I mean, it's inexcusable.
It's because they don't want to. That's the only reason. If they want to make a comic book accurate character to the big screen, they can do it if they want to.
Yeah, but why don't they want to?
That's a good question.
I would say for woke points or I don't know.
Why would this? I mean, this actress doesn't have like the big cleavage she is showing here. So they really push up her cleavage. That's fine, Titania has a big cleavage as well. So it's not for woke points in that sense. She is, I think this actress is, I don't know her heritage, but she's definitely not as white as the Titania in the comics.
Right.
Fine for me as well. I don't care. I still think she still looks good. But for me, it's the costume. It's just a letdown, But still, I wouldn't be able to answer why they would change this costume.
I don't know.
No.
I think that
Because
costumes
they don't
are
give a
like
shit.
costumes are like a critical part of a hero's identity.
Yes,
Like,
yes,
also her
it's
physique.
superhero stories. Why would you introduce Titania in the series if she doesn't look one bit like her? What's the point?
Yeah, that's the point I have with her. She is not as muscular or as big as in the comics. And you have gorgeous heavyweight lifting women out there that look very muscular and still look very feminine and very gorgeous. They can still put one of those that can act a bit, They can still put one of those in the series, because this actress isn't the best actress I've ever seen. So
Okay, then we have these characters, right? The Wrecking Crew.
oh yeah, they were like some punks in the series.
By the way, this is drawn by Andy Smith. Andy Smith was on my show once, and he's creator of The First Man, cool comic. Anyway, the Wrecking Crew is just awesome. They are very, very masculine. It's all raw power. It's these are brutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
they are like they are portrayed in the episode like a gang of punks with
yes,
somehow
like
they got some Asgardian tools, whatever. So that part of it is accurate to the comics, because I thought the original Wrecking Crew also had weapons that were enlaced with Asgardian magic or technology. Am I correct?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
So at least they have that. But you also have to remember, we have been watching and reading these Wrecking Crew for already 30 years.
Mhm.
And this is their debut in the MCU. You also need to consider then this is their origin. So they can still go into some episode further that they can get buff and muscular.
Mm.
The same with Spider-Man. So the MCU origin story of Spider-Man are the 3 movies we just had. That's the origin of Spider-Man in the MCU. And
Right.
we immediately think, oh, we see this gang of the Wrecking Crew. But that's not how we thought they were. But these are the first appearance of them. So they still can grow into the ones we are familiar with. And I think there is some merit in it, because I don't know if I need to spoil this or whatever, if you haven't seen the episode.
Sure, I don't give a shit, so you can
Me
spoil
neither.
it for me.
Go for it.
They try to steal some blood from the She-Hulk
Right.
for some unknown boss. So I think they want to create somehow supervillains.
Mm.
And could be that if they manage to steal some blood from her, that they can incise themselves and be more muscular than they are.
Just cut the guy on the left out of the picture would look way better. Yeah, but it's the Wrecking Crew. They are with 4. So, yeah.
I thought the only Wrecking Crew guy was the one in the middle with the long hair. I thought the others were just like some extras. I thought this was like a production shot where some of the the grips are like getting the main actor the clothes, or checking the lights. This doesn't look fantastic.
Yeah. So Ian says the target audience for the Hulk is bored housewives, because that's what the writers are. And they would feel bad about themselves. Forgot to work out again, seeing an accurate Titania. By the way, someone managed Gina Carano. Roland, Gina Carano, she would be perfect for Titania.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so Lion says something about the guy on the left. He's right. Does this guy have like a construction helmet with a LED light on it?
Yeah, so you can see the other wrecking crew, right?
Yeah, but we can bitch about how the results are, and we can be right or wrong. It's very personal. What I'm curious about, what would be the decision moment, or in the design phase of the series. They surely know their topics. They do know the comics.
I beg to differ. I'm not so sure, man.
You definitely see a lot of, like, I don't know if it's the directors or just the artists working on it, but you definitely see like small trinklets in the background or whatever that are definitely pretty niche knowledge.
Maybe there's one nerd in the studio working there who brings everyone coffee, and he's like, "Hey, this isn't correct. It needs to be a little bit different."
Kevin Feige, probably the nerd is being called Kevin Feige. I don't know. He just brings coffee for everybody.
Yes.
And but they do have their knowledge, and so somewhere in this design process, somebody has to approve, or that they would deviate from the comics we're familiar with in some aspect. Could be story wise, could be character wise, could be budget wise, whatever.
So how far can you move away from an original design before you break the character? I think they broke Titania. This is not the same character. If it's not the same character, when you look at it and you're like, "Hey, that's Titania from the comic book," then you did a good job.
Yeah, she's totally unrecognizable as Titania.
Yes.
These guys at least have these tools that are glowing, so you can, with a little fantasy, can deduct, it's the wrecking crew if you know the wrecking crew. But Titania's really broke.
Yeah, I think that if we're talking about a comic book, like this knowledge about the characters, it's kind of the bare minimum. It's like I'm making a creamy thriller. Like the bare minimum is I know a little bit about police work. So in this case, like they're making a movie about She-Hulk. Like the bare minimum is having a little bit knowledge of the. So I agree with Dave that it's like just the bare minimum. They should have like the biggest nerd should be like the art director there.
Yeah, I think they have the knowledge because you see them in kind of color correct outfits. Not the costumes, but there are some connections to their comic part costumes, and they have the correct tools per character. So there is this basic knowledge, but just they chose to portray them as a street gang or something instead of a supervillain gang. I don't know why they chose that. Maybe because it would raise more questions than not, even though I still have a lot of questions. How do they get these weapons, for example? But
it's probably also budget. I think for these movies they can go all out, but this series, it has a strict budget.
Well, in the episode, they are working for a boss, so we don't know which character that could be, and they want the She-Hulk blood. That's another thing. People were complaining a lot about how She-Hulk got her powers.
Yes,
I have to defend this one a bit.
Sure, of course.
No, because they were complaining that she got some blood of Bruce Banner in her arm.
Yes.
During an accident, and that caused her to transform in the She-Hulk. And they said, yeah, but that's not comic book accurate, and blah, 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 blah. I don't give a fuck, because in the comics, she also got blood from Bruce Banner. In a different way, but she got blood.
The entire relationship between her and Bruce Banner was also different. So the entire origin, they could have spread out the entire origin throughout the first season, for instance, that she slowly gets accommodated to being the She-Hulk. But it's like in one issue, I'm the She-Hulk.
But that's boring. I do agree immediately going to the action. I liked the reboot of Spider-Man, for example. They didn't tell the origin story again. Perfect. I don't want to see it again.
Okay, one sec, Roland. Ultimate Knight is here. Welcome, Ultimate Knight. I have a quick question. Well, throw it in the chat, sir.
Yeah, so continuing on the blood issue.
Yeah.
So she immediately transformed into She-Hulk, which is not outrageous in the MCU universe, because in the very first Hulk movie, the leader, how was his real name again? I don't know. He got blood from Bruce Banner on his brain, and he immediately started also to transform. He saw his skin bubbly, so I think, and in the movie, the blood of Bruce Banner was super toxic because it killed Stan Lee in that movie, and it killed or injured a lot of other people that drank the soda where the blood was in.
Right.
So it's not outrageous that the She-Hulk, with the little blood she got from Bruce Banner
Right.
in her bloodstream, that she immediately transforms into Hulk.
Okay, well, as long as you are satisfied and happy with the show, I'm happy for you, and I'm happy for all the people who like it.
That was the only thing I wanted to defend. Otherwise,
right.
It's a meh.
Right. And so Ian says, I like that Roland stands by his points, even if the room is not on board.
Yeah,
Yes.
I should read the room better next time.
No.
Stay
That makes it
yourself.
interesting when we're not on the same
No, we
page.
don't. Yeah, we don't want people who just talk along with others, because that's the accepted opinion, because that got us all in a lot of trouble, you know. Ultimate Knight asked, how were you guys able to form a creative team to make these great comics? Well, we're not a team, actually. We
But I suppose like you on your own, how were you able to make a great team for Perfect 10?
all right, it's just networking.
Yes.
You know, a lot of networking. It doesn't start out immediately. The first few tries are tough. You have to get to know people. Some people will disappoint you. It will cost you money. It will frustrate you. But at some point, you will have a solid network of people you can trust. And from there on, you build. And these people bring in more people that they trust. So things become slowly easier. Yeah.
Well, I started
Thanks
on
for that
Fiverr. My experience started. It's a story that it all started on Fiverr one cold night, and I hired a bunch.
on Fiverr a long time ago.
I was very lonely one night, and then I hired a bunch of people for drawing, and one of them convinced me. Yes. No, okay, no, serious. No, I started on Fiverr and I commissioned a bunch of people, and really it was like that. Like most of them were like meh, and one of them was like, "Hey, this is really good." And then I started working with this guy, and we started developing some sort of a friendship. And he introduced me to friends of his who also went to school with him. And there I got like a colorist and a cover artist, and then friends of them, and so forth and so on. It started to spread. And at some point, I got part of the Comicsgate community. And then I just, I don't know, like I saw one guy working on a cover for a cool comic and say, I like this cover. And I just contacted the guy and say, hey, want to do a cover for Red Eyes? And that's it. Just
sometimes
networking is
exactly.
I still wonder how you can make money with Fiverr. And especially when you hire people to do work for you, because it seems like super underpaid work for what you deliver.
Yes, you have to work really fast.
But being an artist as well, it seems. I think you have a lot of protection layers there, so you can only do it once. No iterations for those things to protect yourself, because you have very demanding clients probably, and you do work for a very low fee. But I think in mine artist field work, it seems like it's a bit breaking the fees for other artists.
Right. But Fiverr, I don't think you can actually get a lot for just $5. It's
not anymore.
Fiverr, but
yeah, they have probably different fees, right? Different layers as well.
So Ian says, Roland Lammers, it's a compliment for you, Roland. That wasn't irony. I saw the clip with the argument about the vendor who sold the same stuff but was rude, totally got your position, but you had a hard time, yet you didn't waver. Excellent.
Oh, that's right. I was putting snarky comments in the chat.
Yeah.
Sorry. Now I have a person. Sorry, mate.
Oh, I have
Okay,
to
guys,
read it back now. I have to read it back.
What the fuck did you say about me now?
David Feed, what would you think about when they made a movie with a thin a kingpin?
Oh no, that's too much.
You wouldn't like that?
No, that's too much. That's ridiculous. I mean, you have to respect the source material. You know, like it has to serve the purpose of entertainment. It's a movie, it's a different medium, but you still have a source material. You know,
there are certain reasons why a character is the character. You know, the Kingpin is bulky and fat for a reason. He was designed that way. Also, because the creator creating the Kingpin want to do something else than the stereotypical skinny villain usually are the mobsters in the 60s, 70s.
Right.
So they want to have a big one. So it serves a purpose. Even if they would gender swap the Kingpin, it would better be a damn fat mama playing the part.
Yes. Yeah. No,
Twerking Kingpin. Twerking Kingpin. Here he comes. Take that, Spider-Man. One bot against Daredevil, the other bot against Spider-Man.
Hey, I like your vibe. Yes. Yeah, I don't know what was the Duncan guy, the actor for Daredevil for the movie?
Yeah.
It's just this like super tall, black, thin guy. It's like that was weird. That was really weird.
Well, he wasn't thin. He was pretty muscular, right?
He was big and muscular.
Yeah, he was big.
Nah, but he was, I mean, thin compared to like what you would imagine the Kingpin to be, you know?
Right. So, by the way, now you have this you see art online, which is made through a artificial art generator. It's something, and people are starting to use it and experiment with it. And I came across this. So Chris Farley as the Joker, would this work? Because the Joker is very skinny. That's the point of the Joker, you know.
Well,
and everyone was saying, "Wow, this is awesome."
I've seen different iterations of the Joker, but this isn't the Joker, the Batman's Joker for me.
Right.
No. It looks more like a Stephen King horror creation.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah, right. Yes. Comics mates. Welcome, Dean.
Hey.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good to see you, sir. Yeah, it looks cool. By the way, I've seen people trying to make comic books with this technology, right? It looks pretty cool. I am very impressed with the technology itself, but I'm not really impressed with people who use it to make comic books.
Yeah, I think it looks stale. Like there's something vibrant missing. It's like it feels to me like when all these self-driving cars began, where people were like praising it to the high end, like self-driving cars are going to be the future. We're never going to have humans behind the wheels because like it's safer, it's better, and blah 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 blah. No, and then it started crashing and what have you. And it feels to me like the same. Like right now it's at the beginning and people are impressed, like wow, this is so cool and this and that, but as time passes, it starts to show the like the problems, like it's basically AI is nothing else than a program, and a human programmed this program. So it's not really like a sentient AI creating this stuff on command. It's really just what other people have typed in the algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
I misunderstood your question, Dave. Is it about the AI or about the people using the AI?
No, the AI itself is pretty impressive.
But you were not impressed by the people using the AI.
No. When people use it to make comic books, no, man. I just want people to actually draw things with talent and skill instead of just typing in a woman with a white dress stands next to a lake. path. You have your picture and you put it in there. I don't think that is actually art.
No, I totally agree. I have first to say I have nothing against creating art with AI. Can be giving very interesting results, but I think it's mostly. I think the way to use it is just to research, to design. Let's try some things out.
Right.
And
Yes.
if you have a certain result and you like it, then you can make it better, make it your own. With comic books, it's I can't imagine how you make comic books with only AI, because every panel, every shot is so specific on this page of script. And the composition is really thought, everything is so thought through,
Mhm.
I can't imagine doing that with
Yeah,
AI unless you put more and more input in there. So you put an input of this composition, you put an input of certain characters in a certain pose, and still you won't have the probably the thing you want. Making a comic, you think about everything. You do some sketches, and you, even though almost if you would go to the inking version, you still can correct some things. It's a minute work as well, I don't think AI can ever replace that.
I think you could use it maybe for references, like, or
Yeah.
for like a starting storyboard, like, okay, you describe everything, roof, you get the AI done, and then on top of that, you work on the pencils, you work on the inks, and maybe then it's almost like a brainstorming phase of the storyboard. Maybe it can help with that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, also for like concept arts, you want to have a certain scene, just put in some things and let the computer do some work for you, and it could inspire you probably more on that. Because a lot of concept art, you would look for images and pictures as well on your own, but now you let the computer do it. And looking for images is super long and tedious and boring work. And so a lot of the concept artists that draw just do most of the things from their head, or also from reference, or the reference they have in their head. And you also have concept artists that work with pre-existing pictures or stock photos. Maybe this way of working is more suited for them. So you have a lot of different ways to make concept art or concept design, I have to say. I think David is right. You can use it for these things, but in the end result, you want to have it handmade. The colors and the lines, they are specific when you want to stop the line. Know how thick the line would be. So specific.
I think if everyone starts using, like AI for comics, at the end of the day, a lot of people are going to be using, like the same results.
Yeah. Comics may start to look similar then,
Maybe Craig Land, or how this artist's name was.
Yeah,
I think he used already this technology 10 years ago. He just put a lot of porn babes in his computer and let the AI.
Unfortunately for him, this system doesn't allow porn, so it has limits. Yeah.
No.
So you can't do that. No.
Well, he only used porn faces.
Well, not yet.
Ultimate Knight had another question. How did you meet people to trust with your ideas, and how did you make sure they're trustworthy?
Oh, well, there's a saying in German, says, like, Vertrauen ist gut, Kontrolle ist besser. So basically, like, trust is good, but control is better. So, I mean, if at some point with contracts, and another part is, like, don't pay in advance, like, commission something, at the most pay half, and then pay the other half when it's done. Don't be too trustworthy. Basically.
Yeah, when you start with working with somebody, you probably have the paperwork better, and then in a period of time, you probably can let yourself trust them more and more. But even though then, it's still after 4 years, they can do something that you didn't expect, and it will give you another dent in the trust of humanity. But Probably Dave has way more experience
I lost my faith in humanity. Yeah.
with people and talking people than I have. With all the years he's been creating comics right now.
Okay, next topic, guys. I think I know this answer too from you, Roland. Do you watch The
I'm out
Rings
of
of
here.
Power? Do you watch The Rings of Power? The answer is yes.
No.
Yes, Roland.
No. I definitely don't want to watch it. I want to watch it, but not pay for it.
Right.
So I have an Amazon description, but I don't want to watch the series on Amazon because I want to try the episodes. I want to see it, but I don't want to fully pay for it.
But if you have the subscription, you can just watch it, right?
Yeah, but then I will be one of the numbers that is watching the series.
All right.
And I don't want to give him that pleasure.
So you're curious.
I am super curious.
So why won't you just watch it through Amazon?
Because then I would supply them with my approval that I'm watching it.
So, what's the problem there?
Probably principle. This is the first time I have a principle, and now you attack me on my principles.
No, I'm just curious. Why?
No,
what's the issue?
I am super curious, but I'm super Tolkien fan, and I'm really worried that they will butcher his work because they don't have the rights of the Silmarillion. They don't have the rights of the Unfinished Tales. They only have the rights of the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbits, and they can create this backstory of the appendix that are in the back of the books that will explain more about this world. But because they don't have the rights of the Silmarillion, they also have to change some things that would be the same in the Silmarillion if it's overlapping or they don't have the information. I already thought, I don't know, I haven't watched it, but I thought that they already mixed the name of Galadriel's brother with her cousin because I don't know, and those things, I don't feel dwarfs need to be dark skinned. I don't know.
Are you racist? Are you racist? Roland?
I am definitely in that sense probably racist, yes, but it's a fictional world. And it's a world building, and it's based on the old European world, which is prominently white. And so it doesn't make sense. But I do agree with the change they did for the pre-hobbits, that they are more darker skinned. But then you see white.
Harfoots.
Oh, okay.
And then they portray them as white. So I think then they should all be dark skinned. So I don't know. Maybe I should just leave it a bit, like let them release maybe one season or 10 episodes, see what's the general idea or consensus about the series, and maybe I will give it a chance. But for now, I'm super curious, and it looks gorgeous. It looks absolutely beautiful. I think everybody says it is really beautiful in terms of CGI and compositing and such. But I also hear a lot of criticism that it's super boring.
Right.
So, yeah.
In any case, Amazon itself doesn't seem to have much faith in their own series. Their $1 billion series.
I don't know. With these kind of media outlets or news reports, I always take them with a grain of salt, even though if they're from established publishers, still the established publisher has a certain side or are looking at it from a certain colored view, and they take things out of context. I've seen some good criticism or reviews on series, and I see some bad. And when I'm going into my timeline on YouTube, most of them are bad because most of my timeline things are full with Comic-Gate and Gamegate stuff because that's more in my timeline. So, of course, Geeks and Gamers is against it, Bordering is against it. They always give bad criticisms, and they take like 3 hours to say why the series bad, even though one episode's 1 hour. So I also already don't get why their reviews is like 3 hours
like
away.
they do streams, right? Like we do, and they talk
as well.
So conversations can last for 3 hours. Sure, that's
that's true. If they have multiple people, but they also make just reviews. So
well, they gotta monetize it. I mean, like
they
they
play with
gotta
the
take the
numbers as
most
well.
juice out of this.
yeah, they make money.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They make money
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah, the more angrier their subscribers are, the more money they will have. So of course they will constantly bash anything that's remotely or maybe woke, not even confirmed. They already saying it's trash before
Right.
it's even released. So I also take them with a big grain of salt, and I definitely want to form my own opinion. And right now I'm super curious. I'm also hesitated, and maybe I will watch it in a few weeks and put my mindset that I'm watching a fan fiction instead of Tolkien world, because it's not based on any of Tolkien's writings. It's not a story he wrote, and that concerns me a lot. You know, why if they would spend so much money to make something from Tolkien, why not buy the rights of the Silmarillion? Make a story of Beren and Luthien, you know? Why do this?
For this money, they could have hired people to write an entirely new lore with a new world, do new world building, completely fresh fantasy setting. But they just need this connection with the Lord of the Rings because people know it.
Yeah, and I don't know how these rights work, because maybe they need to change some characters 25% to not have them exactly the same as the movies Peter Jackson made. So maybe that's why some characters are different. Again, I don't know how these interdecisions are being made, but I'm also it doesn't help for me that the creators in their interviews I've seen or read are saying the things they're saying. It doesn't give me any confidence that they will do Tolkien justice.
Okay,
it's very diverse and diversity, you know, representation.
Yeah, but what is diversity? You know, what is diversity? It's a shallow word. It doesn't have a meaning, or it has a different meaning for different people. Right people on the right side or conservative thinks diversity is something else than people on the progressive side. So there you already have like a weird translation issue.
Diversity means less white people and less men.
Yeah,
that's what it means.
It's like really diverse, you know, like, yeah, but how was the plot, you know, the armor, the weapons? No, like very diverse. I felt represented, you know, like diversity is so good, like it's very important. That's all I hear when I hear these interviews, like that diversity representation. Yeah, they never say anything specific about the, you know,
that's making me worrying about. You know, these curators or these actors saying these things, they think that a series they are portraying a character is a platform for their ideology. Mm-hmm. I think it's bullshit. Especially, I don't know how big a role this dwarven queen has, but so far I think she's just a character in the background. So who gives a shit what the actor says? I don't know, but it worries a bit for me.
But finally, the Númenóreans, they have a black queen as their leader.
I don't know.
Finally, do you see how important that is? That's like mind blowing. You know, Aragorn. What? No, we have a black queen.
I don't know. I don't know.
Or Latina. I don't even know what the hell that woman is supposed to be.
No, it's Latinx nowadays.
Latinx. Yeah, exactly. It's a black Latinx woman.
Jaded One, welcome to the show.
Good
David Feed says in the chat, I would rather kill myself than watch Rings of Power.
Yes.
So
next year.
In the chat, you're way more harsher than in real life.
Yeah. Welcome, Nicholas Gear.
No, but like the same with the Sandman. I don't know the comic that well, but I really had the strong feeling that they needed to score some diversity points, or that they were obliged to use certain characters, swap race or gender, no sex swap, because otherwise they
No
wouldn't get
sex? Oh
funding.
no.
So I really had so imagine we have a community of people, and a certain percentage of people is gay, certain percentage of people is trans, certain percentage of people is women, usually 50%, right? And certain percent of people are in a different spectrum of colors. Given that the Sandman is being in a certain setting, you would think, oh, maybe more white people would be in that world than dark-skinned people, colored people. Fine, but in this series, it's almost everybody, like 50 or even 60% of the people that we encounter is gay. That's not really representative of the real world, right? I know that I think the
In
original
Rings
comic
of
book
Power?
already had a high.
No, Sandman.
Oh, Sandman. Okay.
Yeah, the Sandman.
Okay.
But now
We
it
switched
just
over.
it was really in your face,
Yes. Let me see what people are saying in the chat. Comics Mate says they've called shows with entirely black casts diverse. It just means no white people. So Ian says, interesting enough, the people who go on and on about diversity make things kind of samey. Yeah, they homogenize everything. Diversity means for them everything has to look the same.
How more diversity there is, how more racism there is.
That's a hot take.
That's
And Comics Mate says, I miss getting excited about new stuff. Yeah, man. Indie comics, man. That's where it is.
That's true.
That's what Ian says. Indie is where it's at. Yes, exactly.
I am getting excited for. Hopefully, there'll be a second chance for Godlike. Talking about hype stuff. Your boy John Malin, Godlike, second chance, please, maybe.
Right.
Yeah. Whatever.
Okay.
Oh no! You know what? You know what I'm getting excited about? You're talking about new stuff that is coming out and that hasn't come out yet. Is the Andy Smith? The guy you talked about the other few hours ago. Whatever.
Yes, from the Wrecking Crew.
Barbarian-like comic called Core Draft or something like that.
Yeah.
I am getting excited for that one.
Yeah, that's your thing, right? Fantasy.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing.
Yeah.
Protagonist with a mohawk. I'm like, yeah.
Look, but Andy Smith can do it. Andy Smith can make a new fantasy thing, fancy IP, but with Amazon for $1 billion, they need like the rings.
Maybe it's a money
power.
laundering
They can't create something new.
I wouldn't surprise. It's just a money laundering scheme,
Yeah,
trying to make it
exactly.
real.
So it's the same how Big Robot made the Star Trek and the Star Wars movies. They just take over and they just ask ridiculous a lot of fees for certain things and think it's as bad as Bad Robot.
Right. Did you guys see this? Do you know a little bit about Dungeons and Dragons?
A little bit.
I played a couple of times.
Okay, because I saw this today, and apparently there is another race of fictional beings in this Dungeons and Dragons universe that is deemed racist, which is
a race called racist.
Yes, it's called Haduzi. I never heard of it. I don't really play it, but I know that people started to equate orcs with black people, which is really strange. And now there's problem with this species apparently. So Dungeons and Dragons posted this apology, and they will change the lore.
But then they kind of agree that the trolls or whatever were indeed a synonym for black people?
Yes, of course. Otherwise, I wouldn't change it.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. That's
I
low-key admitting that.
Ever had the idea that they made this game in which they have different races like elves and dwarves and whatever, and they were synonym for actual different people here. I don't know.
Yes. Everything
Yeah.
everything has to be related to the real world. These people can no longer separate fiction from reality. So they see this being who is.
So
I
if I'm going to role play, I still need to think. I need to treat these dwarves nicely because dwarves are a minority and they're small, and you cannot make fun of dwarves. So I cannot be racist in my role-playing fantasy game. Because oh my, if an
Yes.
elf would get angry and an elf would be offended when I say, "Hey, you with your spiky ears."
Yes.
Oh my god.
Everyone.
That's
everyone.
ableism. That's like, oh my, like the
Yeah,
DM would, call your attention like, Roland, I have to talk to you after the session because,
You are so racist against my dwarf. I can't stand it. You call him small and fat. Well, in your bio, it's a fat, small dwarf. So, no, but you can't say it.
What is this about, David?
Oh my god. Yeah, the Sexy Monster Girl Bestiary 3, which is getting some changes, by the way. The original cover had some, storks with boobs on them. And I think Soul Lion didn't like it too much. So,
Right.
Sorry, I guess.
Jade one says D&D went woke years ago. Unfortunately, I'm an old school gamer. I stick with D&D 3.5 edition. Yeah, I heard that. I hear that a lot. That many people kind of discard like 4 and 5. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
if
but I think
a role-playing fantasy game, if you can stick to the old rules and old game books, can we do something with that in the real world?
skip all this woke nonsense.
Yes.
I just want to go back.
I don't understand what's the like. Let's say I'm in a wheelchair for whatever reason, no, and I'm going to go on a Dungeons and Dragons session. Like the last thing on my mind would be to cosplay or to roll as a character with a wheelchair. I would like, no.
Yeah,
I
they
want to fly.
They now even made dungeons which were suitable for wheelchairs.
Are you fucking kidding me? Like that's
Yes.
the last thing I would want if I'm in a wheelchair. I would want to be like an acrobatic ninja. I want to be like someone.
No. You
Wings
can't
on
do
my
that.
legs and I fly. I mean, like
How
these people? Yes.
The way how you identify yourself in real life, you also need to do that in any fantasy life or in any movie you see. So you can't do that.
With actors the same. You can't have gay characters played by non-gay actors anymore. It's all fiction. Reality is all the same to them.
Yeah,
So,
maybe it's this dreary and horrifically gray reality that's all depressing and everything's gray morality. It's like that's not what you go to a fantasy land to. You go to escape this nonsense. You go to escape reality. It's called even escapism, right?
Right, exactly. Comicsmate says, does anyone here play video games? Have you heard about Hogwarts Legacy? It looks dope.
I
play a lot of video games, but and I've heard of it, but this I haven't seen anything of it.
I've heard like if you buy that game, you're like a TERF. You're like a.
Is it a Harry Potter term?
Right. It's a J.K. Rowling terms maybe. But I think it's trans exclusionary radical feminism or something like that. It's like a feminist that are against transsexuals, basically.
Right. By the way, David, you were trying to share something. I see now.
No, it's the same. The Lord of the Rings things.
Right. Okay.
I just wanted to show the rating that. Even though they are removing the rating, this thing still has like a pretty low rating for a.
Yeah, I saw the public rating is quite low.
Mm-hmm.
But
even the critics are putting it, not stellar.
Yeah, well, that's the point. Some channels say that the critics are not stellar, but if I read a lot of critics, they are stellar. So that's the thing.
Yeah, but a lot of these numbers get a lot of these ratings get manipulated. Bad ratings get removed. So you
And then
can't
you have
trust
this
anything.
argument. So you don't know what to trust and what to know, even though some outlets saying, yeah, it's doing good, others say it's doing very well, and then if you check the numbers, you say, but the grades are okay, and then the other side says, no, they're being manipulated. So you don't know what to trust anymore.
But IMDb, what I had, like IMDb has
IMDb is
a
the most
6.5.
trustworthy.
Sorry?
Yeah.
So they had a 6.5, like, of the critics. And that's pretty low for something that would be, you'd expect it to be, like 10 or something like that, with all the shilling and negative comments being removed. So it really seems that even though there's a lot of, in the website, it was all, like the reviews you could read, it was all, like stellar, but still the rating was like 6.5 out of 10. So
yeah, but check it out in the details. So 33% of people gave this 10. That's 90,600 votes, and 26% of people gave the 1. So there are two very big extremes, and in the middle, 10% 9, 9% give an 8, 4% give the 7, 5% give them 2 rating. So there's a lot of. I think this is also just being trolling,
yeah, totally.
Maybe people didn't see it and just, I think it's woke. Let's put it at 1. I never saw something, but
This
I think
happens,
it's woke because
Yeah, definitely.
It's happened. Few people are really able to actually rate it efficiently. They're like, oh, I don't like this. This is 1 star, or I love this. It's the best thing ever. 5 stars. It's and there's nothing in between.
Yeah. And you see this in the IMDb rating as well. Just it's a 10 or a 1.
Yeah. But for me,
IMDb,
like, both of them are bad. Like, if you put it at 10 because you're getting shilled, or if you put it at 1 because whatever, I don't like it, it's the same.
Yeah,
the fact that it has a 5.6 is very telling.
Right.
Like I said, you would expect this to be like, with $1 billion, you would expect this to be like a 10. At least a 9. I don't know, like 9. The critics are a 10 and the public is like a 9. That would be, like, expected of $1 billion spent on something.
So Ian says, I love that thought, and the book of Pure Evil, which is a heavy metal high school splatter comedy TV show from 2010 to 2012, had still 8.2 on IMDb. I never heard of it, man.
Me neither.
All right.
So
okay, guys.
I just wanted to go on with the ratings a bit, because the other example we had with the Sandman also being race swapping a lot of characters or being very woke and such. That one has a rating of 7.8, and most of the ratings are between 10 and 7. So it seems a much more even or fairer rating than now with the Rings of Power. Because I don't think these extremes are natural.
Could it be that the Sandman is just a better show?
Probably, yeah. Well, I enjoyed Sandman. Probably it's not a good thing to say.
You worked on.
Yeah.
You can't say anything else. You can't say anything else, Roland.
You are contractually obligated.
Yes.
Or Eric Larson is going to
come again.
I come again. Yeah. Right. Okay, guys. Is there something else that you noticed of these last weeks that we need to discuss?
They made a remake of The Last of Us Part 1.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it or played it.
I played the original, and I loved it. One of the best games I've ever played.
So I don't know what the remake is making it better than. I don't know. It's a game 10 years old already, 8 years old.
Probably. Yeah.
So probably the graphics. I still have to play the old one, so I won't buy a new one. But that's the thing that happens.
I'm not interested in a because probably my guess is, after what I've seen what they've done with the franchise, they probably changed a few things from the first one, and my experience with The Last of Us Part 1 was perfect. I played it twice. I loved it, and I have no desire to revisit it in this new version. It was perfect.
For me, it's like knowing what happens in the second part. I'm not going to go and buy the first one. Like I don't want to play that knowing what's going to happen later. It's like I'm happy seeing let's plays and stuff like that. It looks pretty cool. That's it.
Yes, this is true. What are you going to share with us, David? Let me see.
I saw this and I found this interesting, Mr.
Airborne. Why is this? Why is the mask on his cheek higher on one side than on the other?
I have no idea. No, what I found interesting is that this is from Rob Liefeld. Airborne, out on September 28, 2022. Flipbook on Brigade Remastered Part 1. Introductory, all that stuff. And okay, this looks fantastic. This is great. Yada yada yada. Image Comics, okay. But Brigade #1 Remastered. Isn't that the Kickstarter that this guy has like 9 years late?
Yeah.
Yes or no? I mean, I thought that he made a something for Brigade on a Kickstarter, and 9 years later, he hasn't delivered to the backers. Where the comic, I don't know if it's already on the stores or something, and now he's promoting something that is part of this universe, Brigade universe. I don't know. So I found that like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just weird, and he just ignored. I saw your comment there, and he just ignores it, right? It's
I did say something. I wasn't snarky. I was just
Yes.
Is there like a Kickstarter out there?
This is true. He has a Kickstarter which still hasn't fulfilled for a lot of people, which was supposed to deliver 2012. So yeah.
People still like his artwork?
Well, people mostly like the colorist and the inkers.
Yeah.
Who,
I can understand that because it looks gorgeous, but they can't hide the bad pencil work.
Oh, I wouldn't call it bad, but I mean,
no, it's not bad, but I mean, what they said immediately, you see that the mask is not symmetrical.
Symmetric, yeah.
It could be a design choice, but I think these are like the basic things of artists. You need to have these perspective lines in order, and you need to have this underlying 3D image in your head. Everybody can see that one side is lower than the other side.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never been a Rob Liefeld fan myself, but I did see some pictures of this character, where he was like shooting some laser beams out of his eyes, and
which also looked weird, by the way.
It looked kind of weird, but the what I will say is the energy of the image. You could really feel the rage of the character and shooting the beam with all his hatred or whatever. So I'll give him that. The image is full of emotions. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
The pencils, but to me, the design of the design of the clothes looks very uninspiring.
It's very boring. Yeah,
this is boring as hell. Like the face, there's some energy. The clothes,
when you see the shot with the entire character, then you see there's not much happening with the costume. Just blue, and he has this triangle on his chest which is just like Superman without the S. So it's just a boring triangle.
Totally not Superman.
Maybe he should put some shoulder pads and some pouches on his costume.
Yes.
The robot arm makes it way better.
Hey, we're laughing now, but when this thing makes like, I don't know, $5 billion, what then,
Yeah. I agree with you, David, that half of an artwork is as well the power, the lines and how they are put this energy out. And I agree with you, it's a very powerful image. I don't know if it's the coloring or the inking to do that.
No, the colors are fantastic. I mean, the shades in the face is like, whoa.
I am super respectful for the colorist to make such a boring costume still vibrant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why wouldn't they put the colorist name on top of the comic? But really, the colorist can break or make an artist's pencil lines.
Oh, certainly,
I don't
Maybe-
think this will be a campaign, by the way. I don't think this will be a Kickstarter.
No, I don't think so too. I think it's
No.
it's gonna be a comic. Maybe Hairborn is the name of the colorist. Rob Liefeld presents
Therefore,
Peter Hairborn.
Yeah, the true hero of this comic book.
you had some Image comics in the 90s that also gave credit on the cover of the penciler, the inker, and the colorists. I mean, Liquid at the time was a very famous colorist
Yes.
for Duo, I believe, and they were always putting like the name with the artist on the cover.
Yeah, well, they still do that.
Not Rob
I-
Liefeld.
I oftentimes have to tell the colorists who work for me, don't forget to put your signature on this pinup. Sometimes they just forget it, and I want for them to have the recognition. You worked on this, man. This is your art.
Yeah, but not only signature, also just the name. In a type font.
Right. Yes. Okay. By the way, David, didn't you say that one campaign was under revision or review?
Yes, Deathsworn, the campaign from Carl O'Rourke.
Yeah.
Which you cannot look for it. You cannot find it on Indiegogo anymore. You have to go to someone who has like a link to that. So
I searched for it, but I couldn't find it. No.
Yeah, exactly. No, you cannot find it. There's nowhere to be found on Indiegogo. The only way to get to it is if you have had the link and go directly from the link, and then you'll find it. Let me see if I can
find it. By the way,
I'll find it right now.
Ian says, big name creator, trust in ability, will to fulfill. Comics Mate says, in my experience, the bigger names are far less reliable. Yeah, why is that? By the way? Why? So smaller creators do their best to satisfy customers and to bring out the products, and bigger creators often start something and then they start slacking for some reason.
I don't know. Dan Fraga, for example, he's like super late. And he doesn't seem to be doing much about it, unfortunately.
But is that like a common rule? I mean, there are a lot of big name creators that are just professional and put out their comic on time, or aren't they not?
Yeah, sure.
Or do they that only when they are on salary in one of the big companies?
I suppose so, yes.
I mean, Mark Bagley is a very professional artist, I believe.
So what does this mean, David? The campaign is under review.
So I don't know what exactly. It cannot accept because for the longest time this thing was accepting, and many other companies are accepting, new backers. And even though this guy hasn't replied to anything for like 9 or 10 months now, he hasn't replied to anything on Twitter as well.
Yeah.
He basically disappeared from the face of the earth.
Yeah.
And the last update was something like, the book is finished and the colors are finished, but now like an extra book is not finished or some crap like that. No? People have been trying to reach out to him on Twitter and on the campaign as well, like leaving comments and nothing. And the other day I was just looking for it, couldn't find it, and went to his Twitter, and through his Twitter got the link directly to the campaign. This is how you can get to this page. There's no way you can find it on Indiegogo.
Right.
And the first thing it says is this: the campaign is under review. It's not accepting contributions, so it's kind of in limbo right now. And that's as far as I know.
And nobody heard of Carl.
No one hasn't heard of him.
He's not on Twitter. He's not.
His Twitter is still out there, no? But he hasn't posted anything for like.
No, he's completely off the grid. So for months now. So people apparently complained, and Indiegogo took action.
Well, finally, yeah. So as you can see, the last update was from 9 months ago.
Wow.
And that was it. And it's sorry about the being late, or sorry about the lack of updates, and blah 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 blah. No? Yeah, I remember there was an update a couple of months ago before this one where he said like, yeah, everything's done, but I'm reworking the cover because my skills got so much better in all this time. Like, if your skill got so much better in all the years that passed, like, that should tell you something, no? That you are super late. Well, in any case, last one was from 9 months ago. No one has heard anything from him, and as you can see, yeah, 1 day ago, someone put a comment.
1 day ago. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Maybe something happened to him. So
Yeah.
you can
Yeah,
never
people can-
judge on what happened.
No, we're not judging, but it's interesting that just radio silence and then Indiegogo does this. Yeah, that's
The-
their
the-
procedure.
The last I saw of him was because he was streaming with the Wenger, right? And the last time I saw Carl alive, so to speak, was in a stream with Wenger, and I heard that he got really angry when Wenger's campaign didn't got the support that he was looking for. Wenger got really angry that he's,
Wenger got angry. Yeah. Okay.
Wenger got angry, but Carl too. Carl was pretty pissed off, that the Wenger campaign didn't get the support it should have, according to them. And that's the last I heard of him. That he was very, very angry, and then poof, disappeared from the face of the earth.
Well, I hope he is all right. We just don't know.
Yeah, that's the problem when you don't update or anything. Like, anything goes now. No, maybe he's dead, and this is super tragic, or maybe he just ran away with money.
Which also possible. But yeah, if you have this amazing looking book, why would you run with the money? It's
not that much, is it? How much?
So $50,000. That's a pretty penny. I mean, I wouldn't say no to $50,000.
How much is that in dollars?
Yeah, that's franc.
Or in euros?
It's euros is 53,000, and dollars must, like, I don't know, 51,000.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's a lot. Yeah, damn. So Ian says, Death Sworn is such a pity, so much promise, and yet it didn't come together, which is kneecapping the guy's career right at the start. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you mean? What do you mean 50,000 Swiss francs is not a lot of money? What do you think? It's like a yen or something, or the Venezuelan dollars? 52,000.
I don't know this weird thing.
$5.
Yeah.
No.
Postmate says Fairy Quest is the same thing. Dudes disappeared on everyone. Last update was more than 2 months ago, saying the books were being sent out. Nobody has received the book. So he was lying. Oh man.
Well, I think it happens more often than you want to admit in indie.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Guys, this is. I think there are many people who want to make a comic book. They see other people do it. They have this idea. They put things together, and once things get started, they discover it's a lot of work. It's not only making the book, but once the book is made, you also have to deliver it. You have to run the business. And I think for some people are just not cut out for it. No. It's too much.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
And instead of just accepting that and it gets payment, they're like, okay, I have money now, and things can get kind of sketchy, Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, have you seen the guy from, talking about sketchy stuff? What's the name of the guy? One guy who's asking for commissions.
I don't know. Rob Willis?
That one too, yes. No, he has a comic that is years late, and now he's making covers left and right.
Yeah.
The last update said something about, it's good that he's making covers because then he has money and he doesn't have to work a normal job. He can work on Shinobi Sasquatch. Like,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah, the writer was really frustrated that he didn't get any pages while he was working on other material. Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand. Yeah, I could. I think I would be frustrated as well.
Yes.
Yeah, just stop working on the other material. If you don't get paid, just don't continue.
Well, the thing is, the backers they pay, so they pay for this book to be made. So it's not just the client you are working for. So, but yeah.
Yeah,
No,
no,
but
this is
I mean, if you're hired, I don't know the situation exactly, but it seems that he hired a writer to write stuff.
No, the writer hired this artist, and this artist didn't deliver pages, but he was accepting other commissions, and he posted about it that he was making other commissions. And meanwhile, the book was, people were waiting for the book to be finished. So
it's an
this was
80-page
frustrating.
book.
Yeah.
It's 80-page book. It's
It's
2
a
or
big
3
book.
years late, and the writer just got page 19. So Rob Willis is still working on it. Okay.
Oh my God.
Wow.
3 years, 19 pages?
It will never
About
get
2
finished.
years. No, of course not. This is never going to get finished.
But that's a huge red flag.
Yes.
Just even it can go on maybe half year, but then at some point you definitely will say, fuck you, I'm going to hire a different artist.
Yeah, start over. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes,
this is just,
exactly. At some point, you're like,
Start over.
Martina Marcotta did that. She was like, F that. I'm gonna hire a new team, new colorist, new everything, new story. I mean, I have to admire that Martina Marcotta. I may not like the story, but I admire her resilience, saying, you know what, I'm gonna push on regardless of whatever.
Yes.
And she really did that.
this is what we're saying about trust as well. Trust in your team or the people you hire, and you expect people to be professional, but a lot of people doing these indie comics are not always professional. They are just maybe hobbyists wanting to go for the romantic life, not having a job and just making art. And a lot of times it's just subpar art as well. And they are delusional that they probably think they are very good artists. And even if you're a good artist, then you are very bad with human social skills. So you also won't get your campaign funded. So many things on this campaign. And also with trust in people, maybe have a very professional artist in the way his skills are, but not in the way he treats you,
Yeah.
At some point you just have to say, but you need to be reliable. I pay you. And again, what David said, don't pay everything up front.
Yes. No. Hell.
I think that was the problem also here, right?
Yeah, exactly. You
Yes.
paid him the whole book in advance, and then this is page 19, so it's getting worked.
By the way,
dear.
Master Dan is here.
Never mind.
Welcome.
Hello,
Welcome.
Mr.
How is the indie comic world now with the inflation and the rising prices of everything, with paper printing, sending? People probably want to have, I think, more reliable, steady income. So do you guys feel anything on this?
Yes, books are getting more expensive. Like the shipping on many books are getting quite expensive.
Yeah, you really need a third party now to deal with the shipping. Otherwise, you can't do these campaigns no more. It's getting ridiculous. People will. Yeah, I personally will not back a book with like $30 for shipping. But sometimes that's the minimum now for some countries.
Yeah. So your shipping is more than the actual book itself.
Yes.
But that is weird. In the Netherlands, you have kind of a thing when the total value, including shipping, is under the 25 euros. You don't have to pay taxes. That's already going to be impossible.
Yeah. The minimum is like 25 for the book.
And
By
so
the way, these VAT costs are ridiculous. Also, man, I got this package from Brazil last week. First off, the post office told me there's this package. You have to tell us what's in there, so we can calculate how much you have to pay us for the import costs. And I didn't know anything about the package, and I'm like ask the sender.
Yeah, it's ridiculous that they ask you.
So have to call them up, because you cannot go through the normal. You have to fill it in online, but there's not the option. I don't fucking know what's in the package, So you have to call them. Yeah, you have to call them, and then they get back to you later on. Oh, we contacted the sender. It's this and this and this, and then I'm like, okay, now I know what it is. This is the value. Okay, they said this will cost you 35 euros. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
Only VAT, yeah. And
Yes.
Can you reduct it from your tax?
Probably, but still, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
And it
I don't
seems
know how it
random
works
to me.
with
Like,
foreign tax.
to
But
me,
yeah.
it seems random. Like sometimes I get the book and I have to pay like, I don't know, 20 or whatever. Sometimes I get nothing. It seems like they pick random stuff that you get, and okay, yes, this no, this we check, this we don't.
It used to be here as well, but it seemed that they were just from a certain country. Probably they are checking everything.
Yeah.
Okay, that could be true. Also.
Yeah, they used to kind of pick and choose or whatever. But I think sometime I was ordering a lot of things from Japan or the USA, and at some point they were just. I needed to pay tax for everything. I needed to pay whatever. Then I stopped. Too much.
Okay, guys. We've been going on for about 2 hours now, almost 2 hours. So
Wow.
a lot to talk about, because we skipped last week, so it makes sense. Plus, we have Roland here, and he talks for 3 people. So yeah.
Next time we're gonna have you.
I still have one question. We still have 4 minutes, and we can probably cut it at 2. What do you guys think about webcomics? Putting a Patreon site and let people support you, and you put out a panel comic every week or month or whatever, but then only via a website, a webcomic. Is it something you guys are thinking as well in the
Damn it.
comics?
I forgot something.
I recently, why I asked, I recently read an interview here in a Dutch newspaper that some comic book artists are really making a lot of money with webcomics. Some are hired by a publisher, of course, or are in pay of a publisher.
I don't know.
Is it something also with all the rising costs, something to think about in the comic community?
Maybe, I don't know. I don't really like them. I think they have their own. Like, some people really like them. I can see the charm of like drawing the panel in such a way that while you're scrolling, it has some cool effects of the thing going down or up or whatever.
No, not per se that, but just reading the comic on your tablet or your computer or your telephone, and instead that the page turner is like a real page turner, classic way. The page turner is basically a scroll down from your a scroll up from your phone.
I was reading the one from Odi, the guy from Xenotype, Odysseus Theodoratos, I think it's his name. What's his? Tomahawk Angel. That was kind of chill. But that I think that's the only one I would not do something like that. I don't like that. I like having a paper and the flow from the page. Or mangas, like I like thick, small, thick, and how they smell and they. No, I don't like.
Well, that's the thing.
That's just me.
I prefer the hard copy as well, the printed one. But sometimes, like they said, or you said as well, that the prices are so high now for it to ship. I want to back an artist, but I would probably go for the PDF version then, the digital version.
Yeah, I
think what's the difference with the webcomic or a digital version?
I buy PDFs because I want to support people and I'm curious about a book, but I oftentimes don't even read it. I just collect them. And so it's so a webcomic would not be for me. But if there's this audience for it, then it's something that I can consider maybe sometime. Yeah. Anyway, guys,
sorry, yes.
I think I want to close it off now. It's been 2 hours. We had a fantastic chat. I want to finish off with a reminder that people can still back Perfect 10 issue 3 and Crossworlds. And yes,
going on.
yes, sir. And you can sign up for American Bliss also.
Oh yeah.
So check it out, guys. The links are in the descriptions. Also, the links to David Feed's Twitter and is also there. Not yours, Roland, because you were new today. Sorry, man.
Man,
Yeah.
I'm a minority now. I'm not a D. Is it that? I'm
Yes.
not a D?
Sorry about that.
Oh, but Mr. Officer put your Instagram in the
Yeah, I saw.
in the chat.
I'll be back tomorrow with a drink with Brink, and my guest will be Nick Henry, and we'll talk about London Gothic. So curious about that. I want to thank you, David and Roland, for doing this with me tonight.
Thank you.
And special thanks to the chat, for everyone who showed up, for watching, for commenting, for liking, and for sharing, and for being here.
Loving us.
Yes, without you, there wouldn't be a stream. So thank you very, very much. We love you guys. And I hope we can do this again next. No, we won't be here next week because I'll be in Barcelona. But the week after, I hope we can do another show, right?
Certainly.
Certainly. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you next time. Bye-bye, guys.
Ciao.